Have you ever promised yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," and then watched weeks disappear? What if your biggest enemy isn't failure, it's wasted time? This is the story of a lazy teenage boy who thought time was free, until life charged him the full price. Once upon a time, in a small town in the United States, there lived a teenage boy named Jake. He was 17, tall, healthy, and full of potential, but trapped in one habit: laziness. Jake wasn't poor because his family had nothing. He was poor because he wasted the one thing that could change everything: time. He slept late, skipped homework, ignored responsibilities, and spent hours scrolling on his phone or playing games. His mother worked long shifts. His father tried to guide him, but Jake always said, "I'll do it later." Later became his favorite word. His grades dropped, his teachers stopped believing in him, and slowly, Jake started becoming the boy everyone expected to fail. Jake's friends were the same. Boys who joked about school, laughed at hardworking students, and treated life like it had unlimited chances. They called discipline boring and ambition fake. Jake loved being around them because it made him feel safe. When you're surrounded by people who waste time, your own wasting feels normal. At home, his parents argued quietly about his future. Jake heard the words through the wall. He's smart, but he's slipping. Still, he didn't change. He wasn't evil. He wasn't hopeless. He was simply addicted to comfort. And comfort, without effort, slowly becomes a trap. One day, Jake missed something important. A final exam that could have saved his semester. He overslept. When he rushed to school, sweating and panicking, the classroom door was already closed. His teacher looked at him with tired disappointment and said, "Jake, you ran out of time." That sentence hit him like cold water. He begged for a second chance, but the school rules didn't bend. The failure wasn't loud, it was official, printed, final. That afternoon, Jake sat alone on the curb outside the school, watching other students walk home laughing, holding their papers, planning their future. For the first time, Jake felt fear. Not fear of punishment, but fear of becoming nothing. If this story is touching your heart and helping you learn English through powerful life lessons, subscribe to English Story Academy for emotional, interesting, and unforgettable motivational stories. Life didn't stop to comfort Jake. Weeks later, his father got injured at work and couldn't earn for a while. Suddenly, the house became quieter, heavier. Bills piled up. Jake's mother took extra shifts and came home exhausted, hands shaking as she made cheap dinners and smiled like everything was fine. Jake saw it, the stress, the pain, the silent struggle. One night, he found his father sitting in the dark, staring at a small calendar on the wall. His father said softly, "When I was your age, I thought time was endless. Then I blinked, and life was half over." Jake stood frozen. He realized his parents weren't disappointed because they wanted perfection. They were scared because they knew what wasted years become: regret. A few days later, Jake tried to get a part-time job to help. He walked into a local store and asked the manager for work. The manager looked at his school record and said, "We need someone reliable, someone who shows up on time." Jake walked out, embarrassed, face burning. On the sidewalk, he watched people his age working, learning, improving, moving forward while he stood still. And in that moment, Jake finally understood the truth. Time doesn't care about your excuses. It only rewards actions. That night, he opened a notebook and wrote one sentence: "I will not waste tomorrow." Then he wrote a schedule. Simple, small, realistic. Wake up early, study 30 minutes, help at home, walk instead of scrolling, 1 hour at a time. Not because he felt motivated, but because he was tired of being ashamed. The first weeks were hard. Jake fought sleep, comfort, and old habits, failing some mornings but choosing to try again. He studied in the library, walked away from friends who mocked effort, and worked quietly as his grades. Strength and confidence slowly grew. A year later, he stood outside the same school he once failed. Changed. He had passed his classes, earned a recommendation, secured an internship, and helped his family breathe again. In his drawer lay a notebook that read, "I will not waste tomorrow." Jake finally understood. Time is life, and by respecting it, he had rebuilt his future. Moral of the story: time doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Your future changes the moment you stop wasting today. If this story inspired you, subscribe to English Story Academy for emotional, motivational stories that help you learn English and grow stronger every day.